Now then, thank you for saving my life. Well, that's the message from a British Army interpreter who's just arrived in Derby. Mahmoud escaped from Afghanistan after the Taliban took control. That was 6 months ago today. Well, this programme has been told that he's one of 500 evacuees who are still in East Midlands hotels. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Two young dads who risked their lives to work for the British Army. Now Mahmoud and Ali are safe in Derby, but we've changed their names to protect their families who are still in Afghanistan. Mahmoud fled just days after the Taliban took control.
From one of the mosques, Taliban leader, he was speaking in the loudspeaker, and he was saying the biggest enemy for us was interpreter. And when I heard that, I was really shocked, and I just decided on that day I have to move to save my life and save my family life.
They were targets because they'd been on frontline patrols in Helmand province, interpreting for British troops as they fought against the Taliban. They tried to keep a low profile, but Ali had to leave the country after being challenged for being a collaborator.
They said, "We have seen you in the Helmand province." I said, "No, I never went outside Kabul city." And one of those guys said to me that, "I remember that day when you came with the British forces and you arrested my brother in our home." I was shaking. So my family said that, "No, now you should go. We will say that you are dead." From last 8 years, I haven't seen my mom and dad. But if anything happened to my family, it's because of me.
And last August, Mahmoud tried and failed to get out of the country through Kabul airport. Instead, he had to make a treacherous border crossing with his wife and baby daughter. Now they've both been sent to a hotel in Derby as part of the interpreters' relocation programme.
Derby is a beautiful city and people are really helping, and every time we face any British person, they have a smile in their face. I would love to go in IT sector. I want to give 100% of my life to the progress of this country because this is my home now.
We are so happy in Derby, in very good place, and thanks from the British government, and they help us and save our life and bring us here.
Saved your life?
Yeah.
And for Ali, a new mission. He's brought this rag doll back to the United Kingdom years after it was sent out to his British base in Helmand.
I want the person, if he or she is listening, and if they remember in year 2011, they gifted this doll to UK forces in Afghanistan. So they can come and visit their doll. They can meet their doll again.
For now, their lives are on hold as they wait for permanent accommodation, and they focus on trying to get jobs so they can make a fresh start here.
Mahmoud and Ali with their very well-travelled ragdoll, eh, Jeremy? So it's 6 months on. What is happening with these resettlement schemes for people from Afghanistan?
A lot of work going on behind the scenes at the moment, and sorting accommodation, of course, sorting English classes, getting people work permits, trying to get people into jobs at the moment. But this is such a big challenge because so many people arrived here in the East Midlands all at once. And East Midlands councils tell me that almost 100 empty properties have been pledged in this region so far. This is all taking time, though. 27 Afghan families have moved into homes in this region so far. 49 more properties have been furnished. They're now ready for their new occupants. And the remaining 23 homes are still in the process of being matched to tenants. Now, that's why so many of these evacuees are still in those so-called bridging hotels. We're talking around 500 people still across the East Midlands region. And these aren't just interpreters. Some of these are UK nationals who've been evacuated with Afghan families. A situation, of course, that's far from ideal.
Some of these people have been in hotels for a good while now, so they've started to put down roots, whether that's schooling or whether that's work, and maybe comfortable, maybe safe, but it's not a place where you want to stay long term, particularly with kids, access to play, ability to integrate and get to know your neighbours. It's a short-term solution.
What's it like for these families?
I mean, hotels sound lovely, don't they? But 6 months stuck in a room, it does wear thin. And it is getting quite distressing for some people. You've got children who are traumatised. Some of them are needing mental health support. most people I speak to desperate to work now. Remember, a lot of these people are very well qualified. Sometimes people say they're embarrassed about claiming universal credit, and it's about self-respect actually for a lot of people. They have had accommodation offers turned down as well, and sometimes that's because they're in the wrong area. Somebody might have a job elsewhere or a family elsewhere. One final thing worth saying, of course, this has all been really useful for hotel chains who've been struggling for business during the pandemic, but it's costing a lot of money.
OK, Jeremy, thanks very much indeed.